Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm shooting with the brand new LG G5 at 1080p. By the way, this is at 30 frames per second and not 60 frames per second. The LG G5 can shoot up to a max of 30 frames and not 60 frames, unlike the S7 and the S7 Edge, which can both record up to 60 frames per second. There will be two things specifically I will look in this video. The very first thing is that wobbly video that we had from the LG G4 when I was recording last year. If you guys remember, there was the video was wobbly on the left and right hand side of the frame, which was a bit concerning. And for a lot of people it was quite a bit of concern, and despite LG releasing quite a few OTA updates, the LG G4's video was never fixed up until this day. However, I'm very interested to see how LG have worked on the LG G5, and whilst I'm moving or shooting video, if the video is wobbly on the left and right side of the frame. And secondly, I'll be also keeping an eye on the focus, and I want to see how this laser autofocus works and how quickly it can focus on objects. This is a highlight feature, the lightning focus on the S7 and the S7 Edge, and Samsung have been marketing it very heavily. In fact, I have uploaded a few videos on my channel about the S7 and the S7 Edge, and I was very impressed with the fast autofocus that Samsung have on their dual pixel camera. On the LG G5 we have two sensors, by the way. We have a wide angle lens, and we also have a 16 megapixel regular f1.8 aperture lens as well. At the moment I'm recording with the f1.8 aperture, and let's have a look and see how this performs. So first of all, let's do the focus test. Let's see how quickly it focuses on the object. There we go, guys. Pretty fast. As soon as I brought the camera close to the branch and the leaves, it was able to focus it straight away. As you can see, the background is blurry, so no issues here whatsoever. Let's change it and bring it to a different branch. There you go. It takes about a second or two, and then it quickly focuses straight away. Very nice, not too bad so far. Impressive stuff. Okay, so now let's walk along and see if the video gets wobbly, and let's keep an eye on the left and right hand side of the frame and see how the video goes. I'm walking fairly fast. Optical image stabilization is obviously present on the LG G5. So from what I can see so far, guys, I'm walking at a decent pace, and from what I can see, the video doesn't seem to be wobbly this time around, so which is good news. Thank God for once, at least, LG, you have given us a camera with video not being wobbly on the left and right side of the frame. So this is in fact good news for all of us. This was the only con on the video side from LG G4 last year, which I was really unhappy with, and at time when I was shooting, it was actually embarrassing at times showing to people when I got my brand new LG G4. People were looking and see why your video is shaking and why is the video so wobbly. But this time around, from what I can see so far, there's no wobbly video on the LG G5. It seems to be fairly stable, and whilst I'm walking, as you can see, guys, at a decent pace, still the video is very stable, and this is very heartening to see. Okay, so let's move the camera up to the sky, guys, and change the exposure and see how it changes the exposure and how quickly it retains the image, the contrast and everything else. Fairly quick, not too bad, considering that the sky is pretty bright, even though it's cloudy, but still quite bright. A lot of light coming into the lens, and now as you can see, boom, there we go. Okay, now let's focus on the leaves here, guys. Once again, see how quickly it focuses. There you go, guys. A bit of struggle whilst focusing, and a bit of contrast changing as well. Exposure control is at times a bit hit and miss, but there you go. As I move the camera back in and back in again, after a bit of change in angle, it focuses straight away. And I can see, though, there's a bit of focus hunting going on every now and then. It does struggle, but if you keep your hand fairly stable, it's not bad. Okay, now let's bring it close to this leaf and see how it does. As you can see, a decent job once again, not too bad. Okay, now let's move across and get to a slightly bigger leaf and see how it does here then. There we go. So it focuses there straight away, no issues. The colors are quite punchy. Contrast ratio is 9. The dynamic range is just about right, acceptable to a level where it produces some decent colors and decent contrast, so not too bad as well. Overall, impressive stuff, and I want to shoot as much as I can, guys, to give you an idea of how the video is like. Often you see on YouTube, people don't shoot videos for too long, but I intend to do the opposite, because I'm going to show you guys as much as I can and put the test, we'll give the phone a longer test instead and see how it performs for shooting at least a few minutes. I'm also keeping an eye on the heat thing. The phone is quite cool. It's not warming up at all. It's been nearly 5 minutes now, so not too bad. I tell you what now, guys, I also want to try the wide angle lens lens and see if I can change it whilst I'm recording with the regular lens. So let's go back on where I started off and let's see if I can change the wide angle lens. Boom, there we go. So whilst I'm recording, you can see straight away the wide angle lens kicks in as well, and look at the amount of coverage. That is impressive stuff. So whilst I'm recording, I can change my lens from the normal one to the wide angle one, and as you can see guys, it is impressive stuff. Look at the difference. Let me just switch it back to the normal one again. Boom, there you go. And now let me switch it back to the wide angle lens again. Wow, look at the amount of coverage you can. I mean, all those bits missing on the left and right, and all of a sudden you can cover so much stuff. This is really impressive. Not too bad at all, LG. And this camera is going to be fun for a lot of those people who are in love with photography, and they are photo enthusiasts. I'm sure they're going to enjoy, and those videographers out there, they're going to enjoy the LG G5's wide angle lens a lot. I tell you what, let's also focus with the wide angle lens and see how it goes. So let's have a look. So no focusing issues here whatsoever. Straight away the wide angle lens is able to focus straight away. But I tell you what, it seems like as if it's like a fish eye angle, like I don't know if you guys know about the fish eye angle, which is slightly wider than a regular lens. The eyesight, the fish eyesight is slightly different. It's like oval shaped. Everything seems to be oval shaped. So let's go back to the normal regular lens. There you go. As you can see straight away, the difference is massive. All of a sudden the wide angle lens goes away and the normal lens kicks in, and the picture difference is very obvious. Okay, so not too bad. I'm actually enjoying it, switching it from one lens to the other. It's quite a bit of fun. So let's walk along with the wider angle lens and see if there is any wobbly video. I tell you what, I've just seen a cat there, and let's see if I can zoom on the cat all the way and see how it goes. Wow, that is impressive stuff. So the optical zoom that LG have been talking a lot about actually works in. It's not too bad. Let's look at the leaf here. Let's zoom onto the leaf and see if we lose any video quality. Not too bad. Even while zooming so much, still the video retains a very good quality. So decent performance by the camera so far this time around, and from what I can see, the camera has got no wobbly video issues that I had from last year on the LG G4, and focusing seems to be quite intact. Not too bad at all. So now I'm recording with the front-facing camera on the LG G5, guys. I'm by the way recording at 1080p with 30 frames per second, which is a decent quality for a flagship phone. Even though these days the competition is quite tough, and phones like, for instance, the Oppo F1 Plus, which I've recently read about, it has a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, whereas on the one on the LG G5 is an 8 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture, but still decent enough for most people. I'm sure plenty of people would rather choose to be recording at 720p, because once you start sending videos on, say, social media apps or Facebook and WhatsApp, it becomes quite difficult to upload or send videos across which are at 1080p. So I'm sure majority of you would probably rather choose the 720p instead and not 1080p. So for me, I think personally, I think 1080p is a decent resolution for a flagship phone by a 2016 standard. So I'm going to move around, guys. I'm going to show you how the camera changes the light, and the exposure is keeping me well in focus, and the quality of the video seems decent enough, not too bad, and very comparable to the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge. I will be uploading the front-facing video from the S7 Edge very soon, guys. I know I've forgotten about it. I did post a few videos from the back camera a few weeks ago, but I will definitely be uploading a video from the front-facing camera on the Galaxy S7 Edge, which has a f1.7 aperture but at 5 megapixel, whereas on the LG G5 the front-facing camera is at 8 megapixel. And also I'll be very interested to see how the HTC 10 comes out in this competition. Apparently the HTC 10 is the world's first phone to have optical image stabilization on the front-facing camera, and I'll be very keen to test that out and see how it compares to the LG G5. In fact, I might actually do a comparison front-facing video with the HTC 10, both with the S7 Edge and the LG G5, and have a look and see which camera fares better and how far the optical image stabilization on the HTC 10 will benefit the users in their day-to-day use. Okay guys, the video is getting a bit too long now, so I don't want to take too long. Obviously you guys are going to get fed up otherwise, so I will just stop here. So guys, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section, and like always guys, please subscribe, it helps, and I shall see you in the next video.